moist, tender, and melt in your mouth, airy, spongy. That's how people who love tres leches tend to describe it. Too wet, milky, soggy, ew texture. That's how people who hate it tend to describe the tres leches. Tres leches cake can be hated and loved for the same reason. But if you're watching this video, it's because you're team tres leches, unless you're my mom watching the video. Hello, my name is Lydia. Welcome to my channel, Lydia's Food and Roses. Today we're going to be making a Piña Colada tres leches. And along the video, I'm going to be giving you the plain tres leches recipe. Let's start first with what is a 3-milk cake? A 3-milk cake is a spongy cake which is soaked into 3 types of milk, which is evaporated, heavy cream, and condensed milk. Then it's topped with Chantilly cream. It is said to be a Mexican cake, but if you speak to the Nicaraguans, you will have a little argument right there. Or to any person from here, this part of the world. Actually, it is an England cake. Everything is started right over here. If you look a little bit back at the origins of the tres leches, the first book of recipes are mentioned to be from Mexico. The tres leches cake is actually a renovation of the trifle cake. So because of the World War II, we have people from Nicaragua who escaped or moved to Miami. Now, if we look back, we will not be able to find any tres leches recipe in Nicaragua. But then we do find tres leches recipe in Miami from Nicaragua. But how did the tres leches cake become so popular among Latin American culture? Thanks to Nestle. They put the recipe on the back of the can for the tres leches cake and people started making it. They started experimenting with the recipe. And that's how that cake, which comes from England right here, that was a trifle cake and moved to Mexico as a renovation, and then it moved to Miami, and then people from Nicaragua started making the cake as well. It became a Latin American staple. Enough with the talking about the tres leches. Now let's cover the objectives. The objectives for this video will be: first, what is caramelization? Second, sifting. Why is sifting important? And third, the stages of the cake, or the process we're going to follow for the cake. I am going to explain, and I'm going to explain the objectives first, so when we go to the recipe, we only concentrate on the recipe. It's very important that, at least for this, because this is a cake and we want an airy cake, that we sift the ingredients as the sugar, the salt, and also the baking soda. This will avoid lumps, and this will also incorporate air into the cake. Second, what is caramelization? Caramelization is the process of cooking sugar. The browning of sugar enhances the flavors and appearance of the ingredient. They are also responsible for the browning of the crust on the bread, which we will be talking about in episode 3. And also browning of the vegetables and meat. The reason why we are talking about caramelization is because we are going to be grilling pineapples and toasting coconuts during the recipe for the garnish. Now let's talk about the 4 stages that we're going to follow during this process or recipe. It might sound like a lot, but don't feel overwhelmed. First, we're going to make the cake. Second, we are going to make the milks. Third, we're going to make the Chantilly cream. And fourth, we're going to make the garnish. Time to start! Alright, starting with the cake ingredients. We're going to start with 5 eggs divided, the egg white from the egg yolk, 1 cup of sugar, 2 cups of flour, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of coconut rum, which is optional. If you want to, you can do vanilla extract if you don't want to do the coconut rum. And last, we have half a cup of pineapple juice from the pineapple can that you're going to get, pineapple slice with 100% pineapple juice. So we're going to combine the baking powder with the flour and the salt with the flour as well. Then we just mix this together and set this aside. The coconut rum, you will combine them with the juice and just leave this aside. Alright, so for the milk ingredients, we are going to use 2 cans of 12 ounces of evaporated milk, 1 can of sweetened condensed milk, 1 can of 13.5 ounce of coconut milk. We're going to use a 1/4 cup of the coconut rum, which is optional, but it will give it a nice flavor. And what I also do is that I use the can for the condensed milk, and I will do half the can for heavy cream.
For the Chantilly cream, we are going to use 1.5 cup of heavy cream and 5 tablespoons of sugar. For the garnish ingredients, we are going to use the 20-ounce can of pineapple slices, which I will show you how to bring later in the video. Around a 1/4 cup of toasted coconuts, which I will show you how to toast later in the video. And last one, maraschino cherries.
Now we're going to mix ingredients. The first thing that we need to do is to preheat the oven to 350 degrees. Now we're going to add the egg whites in a separate medium bowl. With the mixture on high, we are going to mix the egg whites until a stiff peaks form. According to culinary arts school, the way that you know that it's ready is by putting this on your head. We're not gonna try this, but at least you can see that it doesn't move. See? It doesn't move, it means that it's ready. Now we're going to add the sugar little by little with a tablespoon on medium speed. So now we're going to add the egg yolks, one by one. Now we're going to combine the flour and the pineapple juice. Now for this we have to put it on low speed. What happens when you overmix the flour? Gluten development, or it gets a dense cake. So we try not to overmix. So on very low, we're going to add the flour, alternating it with the juice. So we're going to divide the flour by 3 and the juice by 2, and we're going to start and end with the flour. So let's do this. To avoid this from splashing everywhere, you just keep it on low and then just bring it up, and then you do. So now I'm going to just combine the rest with the spatula just to make sure that everything is well combined without over. Look at the texture of this cake. It's so airy and spongy, and that is the way that it's supposed to be, because the spongy cake will help out to soak or to absorb all the milk. Now, I am not worried about greasing this pan because we are going to keep the cake there. And we're going to put this in the oven for 25 minutes to 30 minutes. Going back to the plain tres leches or 3 milk cake. For the cake, you only need to just add half a cup of milk instead of the pineapple juice and just vanilla instead of the coconut rum. For the milk, just add one can or 14 ounces of milk. Don't add the coconut milk and just don't put the coconut rum. And that's it. You already have your plain tres leches cake already. Okay, this is ready. I will just add this at last. So now we put this one aside. We're going to put it on medium-high heat. We're just going to place it like this. And a half, we are going to turn it around. So the cake is ready. I just took it out of the oven. It took me 20 minutes to be ready. And remember the episode 1? Look at this. You see? It's completely clean. That means that it's ready. Another way to know that your cake is ready is by touching it. But like, just touch it, and if it comes back, it means that it's ready. In a sheet pan, we are going to toast the coconut. We are going to make sure that they are spread properly, so they can bake properly. So I will just move them like this for a little bit, or spread them. I will just remove these little clumps of coconuts. For this, your nose will be your guide. When you start smelling the coconuts, you will be checking it, and also you will be turning it around. So this will go in a 350 degrees oven for about 2 to 3 minutes. You have to check it. You will have to check it. The way to know that this is ready is by the color, which will be light brown or toasted coconut. Right, into the oven. Do you see this? So this is a good color. I'll put just 5 seconds more there in the oven. Everything set up, we are going to add the milk to the tres leches. So first thing that we do is that we put a lot of holes into the cake, can absorb the milk more. You can use the fork, you can use a knife, you can use a toothpick. sifting the tres leches cake. So we're going to cut a little bit here. I'll try to take a small piece, even though I want to eat the whole thing already. Alright. Where do I put this? Put it. There you go, there you go. I have a helper here taking that for me. So I recommend you to start eating it after 2 hours that is in the fridge. And you can eat it within the 48 hours. That's when the flavor is the best. Now, if you want to keep it in the fridge, up from 4 to 5 days is the best time to keep it in the fridge. More than that, it will not be as great, let's say. Alright. Okay, here you go. Thank you. And let's try this. It tastes so good. It gives me like a happiness inside. It's very creamy, very creamy, very soft, very airy. It has the hint of the alcohol. If you're willing to have the rum taste, you can do a quarter cup of that rum. If you're not into it, just 2 tablespoons is great. But it has an amazing flavor. Everything just balances it up, and it's just like a fiesta in your mouth. It's very good. Time to recap. Just don't eat it, okay? It's my cake. Don't eat it. Recap. Now we're going to go back to what we were learning. First thing that we learned, what is sifting? What you use for sifting. And the reason why we sift ingredients, especially if it's a cake, is that we want to avoid lumps into the flour, and we also are going to incorporate air into the sugar or the flour. What happens when you do that, that helps out for the cake to be softer and more airy. So it's very good that we sift ingredients, especially for cakes, because they're like softer and airy and all angelical. The other thing that we learned today was caramelization. Caramelization is the process of browning sugar by heat or from heat. So they help out, or they enhance the flavor and the appearance of food. Normally, as I explained it earlier, so they help in the browning of the crust of the breads, also in vegetables and meat as well. And you guys already have this amazing, beautiful cake here. So we already covered pretty much everything. Once again, my name is Lydia. My channel is Lydia's Food and Roses. Thank you for watching if you made it to this end. And if you like this channel, just give a thumbs up and subscribe to the bottom somewhere below, right? Where is the button? Like here, something. So far, bye now. Yeah, I'm out. I made it, finally. Like after 5 days making this. Ay, me caigo. Yeah, what I was going to say after that. Let's go back. Alright. Soaked. Which is soaked in heavy cream. It has heavy cream and fruit. Caramelization is the process of... I forgot. Moist, tender, airy, spongy. Imagine your mouth. Once again.
Okay.
Take 2. Take 2. Moist, tender, airy. Imagine your mouth is... Okay. So, this has never happened to me before. The heavy cream crumbled. Like, totally crumbled. Like, look at this. I must add more heavy cream. So I use it all. I called the supermarket. It is closed. That being said, I have to wait until tomorrow to at least do this. Like, look at this. Oh man. Okay. Again.
Nauseous.
How many times have I said it? Well, it is what it is. I thought I was not going to have any bloopers in this video because I thought I was going to make everything so perfectly fine. No. Sorry, Lydia, doesn't work with you.